Well, this just in, Disneyland President Ken Potrock has confirmed that Disney is sunsetting the annual pass program. And of course, by sunsetting, they mean they have ended the annual pass program. And naturally, this is due to the, as he says in the announcement, the ongoing uncertainty of the pandemic and Disney's ability to open a theme park in California. And this, I actually called this back in October. It is my belief their plan is to suspend APs until the parks are at least approaching something like normal capacity for the park and full attendance for the attractions and rides. Some people thought it was crazy. Not everybody, but some thought it was crazy. But it actually makes a lot of sense from Disney's perspective, considering where we are now, with respect to the pandemic. Very soon, it will have been a year since the parks have been closed. And it's going to be maybe another 5 or 6 months before we can open starting from now. But more importantly, when they do open, it's going to be under limited capacity. Limits that will create confusion as with regard to, who can go, who can get in, who has top priority. We've already talked about this a while back. When they first started talking about this back in July, there was a lot of discussion online about whether or not annual pass holders would have some sort of priority, some sort of first dibs. And that did seem to be the case, that APs would have first dibs. But there's so many APs in California that people were wondering, would there be enough space, enough slots for daily ticket holders? This wasn't an issue so much in Florida. They still have annual passes in Florida today. But here in California, the conventional wisdom, the thought was that it was going to be difficult to manage here in California. But as I mentioned, it's going to be a year soon. And when you consider that in that year, there will be no passes at all that will be effective by the time, in March. In March, there will be no passes that would be considered effective as of then. So it would make sense today, under these conditions, under these circumstances, that they would be given no priority. In other words, I hate to say this because I'm an annual pass holder and it hurts a lot. The time for annual passes has ended for the time being. It's not a permanent situation, but it's going to be a minute before we have annual passes again in California. When the parks do open, let's say it's in summer, it'll be a la carte only. You'll have to go online, make a reservation, and buy your ticket at the same time. I don't know if it's going to be multi-day tickets or not, but probably. But that's going to be it. There will be only the a la cartes, and it'll be that way for a while because the limitations will be for a while. The capacity limits will be for a while. I don't expect to see an annual pass being sold into 2022, at least this year, and maybe even longer. Who knows? And that's just my only basis for that is trying to guess, speculate how long we're going to be under capacity limits. Take a look at Florida. They're still operating under 35% capacity. So they say. People who are watching the crowds there now might say otherwise. But as far as we know, the reported limits are 35%. And it's been, how long has it been? It's been 6 months since the park's opened. And that's in Florida where it's wide open. So it's gonna be a while. And as I mentioned, this is I really liked my annual pass, man. I really liked it. I really liked being able to go whenever I want and not have to worry about how much it's going to cost. It's tough. It's tough. But that doesn't mean we can stop loving Disney. I'm still going to downtown Disney every week, and I'm going to still make Disney content with the idea that the parks are going to be opening, like I said, this summer. That's the hope. And we'll just pay for our ticket every week if we have to. Do what you got to do, right? Hopefully we can get in. So there you go. Otherwise, I will add this. There's no dates given about when officially it's going to sunset, but just understand it's over now. It's just consider it over now. It's not like you can use your annual pass for anything besides buying product at World of Disney, which, by the way, that date we do know. I believe it's February 25th. You would be able to use your annual pass at the World of Disney or anywhere else in downtown Disney and get, I think it's 30% off if you have an annual pass up until February 25th. That wasn't noted in the announcement, but as I understand it, that is the case. But otherwise, there are no, I had a whole script, a whole video ready to produce about what's going to happen to annual passes, and I never did put that video out because I just felt like it was going to be moot very soon, and that has definitely turned out to be the case. There is only one answer now to what is going to happen to your annual pass, and that is canceled. Oh, I should mention, by the way, if you have paid up front, if you've made any payments since the parks were closed, if the monthly payments, so those were suspended, last year back in March. But anyway, everybody will get a refund if they have one coming. In most cases, your annual pass payments had already been suspended, and refunds were already processed for those who had their, where the pass was canceled or expired while we were closed. But for those who paid up front or something like that, refunds will be given, obviously. By the way, I should interject here that there was kind of a postscript to the announcement. Per the announcement, they're going to be developing new membership offerings that will utilize consumer insights to deliver choice, flexibility, and value for our biggest fans. I have no idea what that means. I literally don't know. It can't possibly be an alternative to the annual pass program. I don't know what, because there's only one thing that they can offer us right now, and that's product. So I don't know what that means. Your guess is as good as mine. I do want to say here, in summarizing, kind of that while it seems very, very bad, and it does make me sad, because it just kind of like just that loss, the finality of it, the closure. It's not over. But if there were really any truly bad news that we can infer from this, and I mean, this is not good news, obviously. It was expected, like I said. But what this does tell me is that they don't see a date. They don't have a date. They don't know when they're going to be able to open again. They don't know. That's why, because there is so much uncertainty. I don't think he was fibbing at all when he says due to the uncertainty. They don't know when they can open again. So, some of us were hoping for maybe a spring type deal once they get the vaccine rolled out and people start getting better, the weather gets better and all that stuff. I don't feel like they have any confidence in that. If they did have confidence in that, they might have ramped things up again in spring or been ready for ramping up in spring. But I feel like they think this is going to be a situation that's going to be ongoing for a little while. Best case scenario, summer 2021. So there you go. That's it, guys. Say goodnight to annual passes and say hello to FreshBaked. Still going to downtown Disney every week and still making Disney content because we love Disneyland and we love you guys. So we'll see you next time. FreshBaked.